Welcome to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman, where you'll learn how to awaken your divine soul and open your human heart. Sit back, relax, and get ready to laugh and learn. Here's Sara.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. So happy to be with you here as we move through end of June 2018. We're talking today on the show about something really important. It's a really important reminder, really important way of thinking about things. And this is why is it important to let go of our pain? Why is it important to let go of our pain? Not just why do we want to let go of our pain and why do we want to be healed and released, but why is it important that we don't stay in that pain loop or that victim loop or that suffering loop? Why is it important that we don't stay there? So we're going to talk about that. And of course, it's also free readings Tuesday, which means you can call into the show 888-298-5569. It's 888-298-5569 for free readings Tuesday. And that means we'll take your call live on the air. And I would love to chat with you about anything that's going on in your life. If you've got something you want to look into, if you're on the spiritual path and some new things have been coming up for you, if you're on the intuitive path and you've noticed you want to ask about techniques or systems or all the ways that the universe is communicating with us and all the ways you can receive that information. So I'd love to chat with you on free readings Tuesday. You know, for housekeeping, I want to talk about a couple things real quick. First of all, my new book, Messages from the Divine, which you can get at bookstores, on Amazon, on my website, sarawiseman.com. If you have not grabbed this book yet, I got to tell you, people are using this as a study guide, and it is astounding what I am hearing from folks in terms of just a way of putting spiritual understanding out in terms of this really, really understandable way of looking at things, why we're here, what we're here to do, how we're being led, how the universe is always with us, and kind of applying that as a template over your own life. It's called Messages from the Divine. It's channeled teachings I received. 66 lessons, 66 exercises, amazing. I can say it's amazing because, you know, it was received through me. I didn't create it myself. It just flowed through me. So I can't, you know, take credit for the lessons. Those were just something I was like the tube for them. But the lessons are amazing and they will help you in your life. Just read one a day or just pick up the book at random and read one. It's really a fabulous spiritual guidebook. Again, it's called Messages from the Divine. It's just out. And of course, we also have a free 11-week course that you can take as a study guide to that. And we've had 2,000 people in the course already. I've just opened up a third section. Basically, I'm just going to keep opening sections until nobody wants to take it anymore, but it's ongoing. And you can get that at sarawiseman.com. And I think the last thing I want to mention, we're a little early, but just popping it in there in case some of you guys are listening out in Mountain View, California. I'm going to be there in July for an event at East West Books, July 27th, 28th. Dr. Steve and I are going to come. We're going to do a concert. on the 27th of July, and on the 28th, I'm doing a workshop. So, wow, East West Books in Mountain View, California. Not the Seattle one, I was already there. But in the California, the sister store. Really looking forward to anybody who's out there. Would love to see you there. Again, it's Free Readings Tuesday, so call in to 888-298-5569, and we're going to be taking readings throughout the show. Again, 888-298-5569. So before we go to the phones, I want to just go ahead and take us into meditation. And I want you to close your eyes if you're in a place you can do that. And if you're not, just kind of think about this. Close your eyes if you can. And I want you to just imagine that you can see in front of you your pain, your suffering. And some of you might see it as a dark cloud, and some of you might see it as a person or a situation. I just want you to see it as you see it. I just want you to know what it is. This is your pain. You notice it's outside of you. And again, now it's showing up more like a cloud of energy. And I want you to see and notice that you can go toward it and bring it closer. Or you can push it away. You can bring it into you if you want. Just do that for only a quick second and then take it out again. You can blow it away and it kind of drifts and disperses. Or you can kind of catch it in a bag and hold it like right close, like you're kind of hoarding it. And I want you to notice as you're sort of playing around with this gray blob of energy that is your pain, what's your go-to way that you're dealing with it? Do you push it away? Do you grab it close and hoard it like, this is my pain? You just sort of like bring it in and let it disband. What are you seeing? What are you feeling when you think about this? How do I relate to my pain, my suffering? Or do you just always have it there? You always know it's there, like it's always just there. And just hold that in. There's no right way. We're all going to have different versions. And some of you might even, right now, some of you that are sensitive might even be getting a little headache or by even starting to get a little feeling yucky at this moment. So we're going to get rid of that right away. I just want you to imagine that you've got this giant divine flashlight. You're just going to blast that pain energy, just going to apply laser-like huge beams of light. And you're going to notice it's all going to diffuse and go away. You just feel better. And the thing is that this pain is this idea that we have. We experience, but the idea of suffering, that is an optional thing. Oh no, I'm really in pain. I really have suffering. I've really got troubles. That's an idea. In reality, when you start to think of yourself and look at yourself and know yourself as a soul first, and then this human with problems second, things begin to shift. When you understand that you are an infinite being, the day-to-day stuff tends to not attach to you as much, tends to not affect you, tends to not become this part of your looping mind. Again, you shine that divine flashlight and all the darkness dissipates. And I want you to just, especially for those of you who might be dealing with maybe chronic physical pain or mental pain or really intolerable situations, I want you to hold this idea that what we experience, we get to choose the way in which we experience it. And I most certainly do not expect anyone to be perfect at this or to have success with it 100%. We're working towards this as people. As people, we are working towards this idea that we can, and the word here is transcend and transmute. Transmute means to change something from one thing to another. We can change our experience of pain. All kinds of pain. We can change the way we feel it. We're just going to hold that idea for now. We're going to come back to this during the show. Hard idea, different idea, new idea. Well, not maybe new, but idea we're approaching as humans. And we are going to come to our time together. Holding it in your mind as we work through the show. Okay, let us now go to our first caller, who is Sue, calling from Michigan. Sue, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Sarah.
Hi, thank you. What is on your mind, or what can I help you out with today?
I am concerned about what we're doing that's affecting our relationship with our son in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And
so
it's been, we had a really close relationship with him, and about a year ago, there was almost a complete breakdown of this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically it.
How old is your son?
He is 31.
And is he in a relationship with either another person or drugs and alcohol that you know of?
Probably both, yeah. But definitely he's married, and there were signs of substance use and possibly abuse.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So you're having a lot of suffering around this. I'm very sorry. It's very hard. I do think that it's both. It's both. But I think it's I think if the person was not involved, like tending to think it's the person he's married to, but my bigger feeling is that it's the like if the person wasn't in the picture, the drugs and alcohol are actually what's making him turn away. Now, do you think he's on opioids? Do you have any knowledge of that?
I think strangely enough, he's a registered nurse.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's on a combination of drugs to keep him awake and drugs to keep him asleep, because they have rotating shifts every 2 weeks where he's working days and nights, and this has been going on for years.
Yeah.
Like he's been there 4 years.
Okay, that's good. I mean, it's not good, but I'm happy that that's a more doable situation. That.
But there's also a lot of alcohol consumption. I'm not sure with him. I have been told by other people in the family that he has had a problem with alcoholism in the past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. The drugs and alcohol are coming up in vision for me. It's just a constantly, it's like he's using all that stuff to deal with the stress of the job, and he has really gotten trapped. It's almost like he shouldn't be doing that job. It's not suited to his personality at all. It's too overwhelming for him. He thought he would like it, but as he gets there, it's like this rising panic of just trying to do it and to keep up with everything that's required by this. It's not working for him. But for you as the parent, and so I think that idea of blaming like the person he's married to for the reason for the split, that is not the case. If he were to divorce that person, the drugs and alcohol would still be the culprit here that have turned him into a different personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that when each soul's on their soul path, they have to come through all of these challenges and all of these lessons. And right now, your son is learning the lesson of strong addictions. And this isn't something that you as a parent, you as a mother or his father can work out for him. Like, you can't protect him from this. You can't save him from it. You can't teach him. It's like, this is his journey. And that's the hard part, to sit sort of helplessly by and watch him kind of, circling around bottom. But this is his journey. And what I'm seeing is that he will come out of it, but it's going to take a while, and it's not going to be very pretty. And then you can help him sort his thoughts and feelings out. But for right now, it's kind of like it's not, there's not anything you can really do. If he were 16, you could swoop in and help him, but he's 31. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's, yes. I mean, I guess the only thing I would suggest that you can do on a soul level is you can pray for him. You can meditate and send. Yes, of course, because you love him, and knowing that he's going to come out of it is going to be okay. He's going to be quite a changed and better person for having worked through this lesson. But like right now, he's in the heat of it, and he won't be able to even hear you, for a while. So,
right.
Yeah. So what can you do to kind of get yourself around this idea, like it's his journey? What can you do to kind of allow yourself to know that, like, it's not your fault? There's nothing you can do. What can you do to help yourself realize, like, this is an adult's decision, and I just got to not be involved in it? What can you do about that?
Yeah, I can see the thinking in that. That's,
Yeah.
Because what can I do? But,
Yeah.
You want to be sure that you're doing what you can. I was not aware when he was younger and he was having a problem. We pretty much trusted him.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard from his brother that he had actually blackouts from drinking, so that had to be kind of bad. And
yeah,
I just don't know if I just wanted to know if there was something I should or could be doing. It's apparent that his wife is an alcoholic, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's going to be a long journey for him, and the thing is, I do see him getting out of this. I see him becoming sober, like people that really just get sober. So this is something that I think will be happening in the next couple of years.
Well,
so just be right.
I can wait a couple of years. I just want for him as soon as possible, but I can understand that,
Yeah. So, in AA and so forth, they talk about sometimes people have to bottom out, or reach bottom, and he's not there yet. So, all you can do is love, but you can't fix, and it's a very hard role. So in the meantime, Sue, like, what you can do for you is, like, okay, you can't fix him. So what parts of you can you work on? You got to let go of the mother role on him because he's too old. And then, so what on you needs to be worked on, for your own self. And that's where you can put your energy while you're waiting for him to get his act together, or for him to end his path of suffering. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, this idea we're talking about suffering, and he is in suffering. That's why he's numbing out, because he is in so much pain. But again, it's not the job that you can fix. It's he's got to figure it. He's got to come to it himself, and he will. And then he will be a conscious person, and you will have your relationship again. So it'll be okay.
That's good to hear your impression on that, because that's a light to me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Sue. We wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it can be tough. Let's see. We're going to go to the phones. We're going to keep going. I know that people who are into AA or all that, they have different opinions about how to look at this. Maybe some people would say do an intervention, but I can only speak to the idea of the soul perspective of how each soul's here to learn their own lessons. We're here to walk our own path, and we can't fix it. We can't do the work for another person. We can only love each other and hope that we all become conscious. Just help each other that way. Okay, let us go to the phones, and we have Sharon calling from Seattle. Sharon, welcome to the program.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you for
Hi.
taking my call. I have to
You're
tell
welcome.
you, I was doing the meditation, and I'm sitting in the car in a parking lot, and I just came out from the store, and I'm sitting in the parking lot, and I'm like, I'll do this meditation, and so I'm sitting here, and you said, now shine the light on, your suffering, and I had my eyes closed, and all of a sudden this light was right in my eyes, and it's kind of gray in Seattle today, and I opened my eyes, and this big truck had pulled in right in front of my car, and it's
that's great.
And they were shining right in my face.
A direct sign from the universe. That's
Exactly.
great. Thank you for telling us. Yeah. Yeah.
So I am stuck in a suffering loop, and I think I've just been suffering my entire life. But right now there is a dilemma. My niece has a couple of children that are in the child protective system, and they are wanting me to take custody. There's a young one that's 3 years old, and she has special needs, and they're pressuring me really hard to take custody of her. And I don't know what's right for this little girl. I love her. I've been involved in this case since the very beginning. I can't even comprehend not having her in my life, but I also kind of know if I'm sick, and I don't know if I'm the right thing to do. So I'm really conflicted, and I'm hoping that you can shine a light on. There's a trial at the end of July, and
Well, Sharon, and so your phone's a little bit wobbly, or so we'll pay attention to. I don't know if you can hold it a little differently, or maybe it's just where you are. But so there's a 3-year-old that has special needs, and is there another child also?
yes, there's a little boy. He's 6, and he spends a lot of time with me, but he's been returned to his mother just recently, and so they're trying that out. And so if there's actually an older child too, but he's not in the system.
Okay.
He's just living with his grandma.
Yeah. So what I'd like to suggest is that you provide yourself. So I can't say I can't decide it for you, but what I'd like you to do is provide yourself with a deadline, like a couple weeks for yourself, to make your own decision of what you can decide to do or not decide to do. And then I would like you to just spend this time seeking direct knowing and guidance from the universe. Like, you just said, you were in meditation and I said, shine a divine flashlight, and a truck came up and shined a light in your window. So I'm very clear that you'll be able to get the signs you need. But I'd like to just ask you to just stop working from the place of, I think, guilt. I should do this. I'm supposed to do this, and instead just kind of let go of all those ideas and really just ask the universe, what are you meant to do? Are you meant to do this? Are you meant to know this, not do this? And I think if you take this guilt aspect out, it's going to free up a lot of clarity as to what you want to do. I mean, there's a lot of other ways of working around supporting these kids that don't have to do with custody. And there's also a lot of ways of doing custody with a different approach. It's like I think that the way you're looking at it is, I'm going to take this child with special needs and then I'm going to be quote unquote doing the right thing, but then I'll also be stuck, and I don't want to be stuck. And so I think taking these ideas about like that there's a right way to do it, or that there's a guilt, or you have to do it because it's family, just throw all those ideas out the window and then let yourself be guided to a new view. I think it would be good to take 2 weeks to make this decision, because it's already been, a lot of time in which you've been mulling it over. But to take take 2 weeks to meditate, ask for signs, ask for guidance, throw all preconceived notions out the window, and just say, universe, just let me know yes or no, what am I supposed to do? Yeah. Say that again. What's that?
Yes, that sounds like exactly. Now, there's a baby daddy involved, and I was getting ready to draft a letter saying that I felt that the best option for Caitlin about the baby daddy.
Yeah, so Sharon, I'm having trouble. It's too bumpy, but I'm just so I can't quite hear what you're saying. So I'm gonna we'll end it here, but give yourself 2 weeks, focus, receive, you will be guided, and you will understand clearly, and that will be a way to end this cycle of suffering in terms of which not knowing. Anyway, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. We're going to take a very quick break. You've been listening to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. You'll find me at sarawiseman.com. We'll be back in a moment and go answer further phone calls at that time.
Ready to learn the secrets of spiritual intuition? Did you know that Sara Wiseman offers over 20 courses in psychic development, soul growth, karma, healing, past lives, and more? And that they're all sliding scale, pay what you want? These premium online courses are self-study, so you can work on your own schedule. Sign up for Sara's courses now at sarawiseman.com. That's SARA Wiseman.com.
Alternative Talk 1150, local talk for the body, mind, and soul.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. That song was Ananda by my band, Martyrs of Sound, which you can get on the website, sarawiseman.com. This pain we've been talking about, this pain and suffering, it's a way of being stuck. And what we've been seeing with the last couple callers, and we're talking about pain as an idea, and then at the same time, like as people are calling in, I'm feeling very, like my heart is very moved by these. I know it's rough for people. I know it's. I've been there. We've all been there. But if we're looking at this idea of pain as stuckness, this idea of getting stuck in these pain loops, the first caller, the extreme pain of watching someone be in an addiction and knowing there's nothing you can do. So the idea there is to understand, as souls, we can't fix each other. We can't walk the path for somebody else. It's a hard lesson, but that's just how it is. Sometimes we can have compassion for that person having that trouble, but we can't fix it for them. And then the last caller, unsure if she should take custody over relatives' kids. We get so caught up sometimes in the pain of what we should do, in quotes, or what is the quote right thing to do. But really, there are lots of right ways. There are lots of ways to do things. And so in that stuckness that comes from being in pain, we can just get rid of like all the ways that society tells it has to be, and just instead let all that go and let the universe inform us. Let the universe inform us of our path. Just letting go of all that thought looping, obsessive, blah, blah, and just breaking free. Universe, please show me, tell me, give me signs, make it clear. And this is what will happen. Let us go to the phones. And we have Sandra calling from Florida. Sandra, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, we have had all S names on the show today, so it's the day of S's so far. What can I help you out with today?
Well, I was introduced to your show recently. I subscribed to the Daily Divine, and I was scrolling through my email. I didn't even know your show was on right now. And I look and I see that it starts at 4 p.m. Eastern. It was 4:05 on my watch, and I decided there's a message for me here. I've been struggling with my finances lately. I've been struggling really most of my life, but lately it's been my finances, and there's a lot of pain also. But right now I have my daughter to take care of, and I had just spent my last $10 for the week, for the month actually, until July 3rd. I won't get any more funds, and I'm not expecting them, at least. And I'm very, I've chosen a career path I'm not sure of, and I think there's a message for me. I'm not sure what it is. I'm a strong believer in time coincidences. So I decided to call in because I think there's a message, and I just don't know what it is.
Thank you. So a couple questions. How old's your daughter?
She'll be 4. She'll be 4 in August.
Okay. And what's your career path? What's your work?
I've started to study real estate.
Okay. So that's what you're doing now. You're like, you're a realtor. Is that right?
I'm a realtor, and I'm trying to build a business around it, not just for it to be a job, but I want it to be the source of wealth for our family and for generations to come for our family. So I really want to work hard in it, so that I can do that. I can accomplish that goal.
Right. So you want to build, I'm going to call it legacy for, you want to build stability and legacy and protection for generations. Is that correct?
Yes, and a foundation for my daughter my family. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, I want to suggest that one of the soul lessons that you're learning so I don't believe that you only have $10 left. I believe that the universe is going to drop money on your head, and I don't even know what that means, but when the money starts floating down from the building above, I don't even know how it's going to happen, but I don't believe that's what's going to happen. And so a couple things. I was in similar shoes to you, a little bit different story, but I can remember I had $300 for the month and 3 kids, and that was it. And all that time, money kept showing up. I got those little checks you get back from your insurance if they don't spend your dividend or something like that, and then I got another little something, and there was never enough on paper, and yet it kept flowing in, dripping in. And it wasn't just money. I soon found that, say we needed a sofa, so suddenly instead of having money for the sofa would be on the side of the street, free, free sign, all that kind of thing. So the first thing is, abundance isn't just about money. It's about, you can manifest and ask the universe for these specific material things. That's really easy for the universe to create, like a chair or a car or, these other things that you need. The other thing is that if you ask the universe will bring you exactly what you need to keep afloat until the next, the next time you need. So you don't need it all at once. You just need enough to keep going. And all these things can happen. But it feels like if you're going to get to this next biggest level of building legacy and foundation and stability and security, you're going to have to start trusting the universe. And right now you don't trust the universe. The universe is saying, Sandra, we need you to just lie back on the rock of the universe and just say, I trust. And this is sort of the big lesson you're being brought to, is do you or don't you trust? And right now you don't, which is fine, but they're asking you, would you consider actually trusting? Because if you trusted, you wouldn't be worried about the $10. You'd be like, well, I only have it now, but that's going to change. The universe can work miracles in minutes. So if you've got until July 3rd, that is a long time to allow things to be created. That for the universe, that's like nothing. That's many days. You could anything. So it's all about just trusting it's all going to be okay, and you're going to have what you need. And until that lesson is learned, you have to learn that lesson before you can build the legacy. Does that make sense to you? That you have to learn that? That's like the first lesson, that earning with the poverty consciousness will not allow you to build. You have to allow abundance with abundance consciousness, or with trust consciousness. So do you think you could let go of this? Go ahead.
Well, I guess that now that you bring that up, the trust is the deeper issue, because I'm dealing with also what I think is a generational curse. When I was 33, I was attacked by someone with a machete. I had a little boy. He was sick. And I saw him die. So the universe took him from me.
Yeah.
And I don't trust. And also, I say it's generational because my father experienced the same thing with his son. His son was much older, but my father was the same age as I was when it happened to him.
So there isn't any, I'm sorry about your loss.
Thank you.
And there is no generational curse. It's just different things that happened to different souls. As part of this series of lessons, but there's no curse and there's no, I know it's tempting to look at it like people who have, if their parent committed suicide, they worried they'll commit suicide at the same age or those kinds of things, but beginning to look at it a different way. So I think there's a lot here that you're working on, and it makes sense why you're trying to work on protecting. You're trying to work on protecting everyone, including yourself. I would love for you to do my course. It's called Heal Your Family Karma, if you haven't done that. And I think that will unearth a lot of these shadows that you're working on. And sometimes if you can just heal some, kind of everything falls into place differently for you. And you've had a lot of loss. And I think that might get rid of some of these ideas of being cursed or bad things happening again, and that kind of thing that you've been really in fear of. You might just look at that. Just stay on the journey. Things become easier for you. They do. It's just you're just learning to trust again, and it has been a hard path. Anyway, Sandra, thank you for calling. I wish you the best. And just, so yes, thank you. Thank you. We are going to take a quick break, and we're going to go to the phones when we get back. You have been listening to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman, and we'll be right back in a moment.
Sink your hand behind the sky. I wanna know your grace. I have seen 1,000 moons and I have searched the skies. What I know, what I seek is right here in your eyes.
Are you a seeker on the path of soul growth? Did you know that Sara Wiseman's new book, Messages from the Divine, Wisdom for the Seeker's Soul, comes with the free Seeker's Guide? This 11-week online course helps you dive deep into the teachings of Sara's new book, and it's Sara's gift to you. Get Messages from the Divine and your free Seeker's Guide now at sarawiseman.com.
Alternative Talk 1150, talk radio for the body, mind, and soul.
Trail your fingers through my hair and press it to your cheek. Somewhere the sun is shining on the other side of the world. Here we are in this time, baby. I wanna be your girl. Baby, it's you.
All right, we're back with more Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. A lot of people suffering big ways today, and I want to have this idea of pain as a way of staying stuck in darkness. We have pain, we have suffering, we have rough things that happen to us, we have tragedy, we feel like we'll never recover, and yet we can learn. The human condition is to learn to transcend and to transmute that pain and look at it through the lens of infinite soul. It doesn't sound easy. It doesn't even sound possible, but that is what we're working on. How do we transcend the dark, looping endlessness of suffering. Let us go to the phones, and we have Kim from Federal Way. Kim, welcome.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes, thanks so much for your patience. What is on your mind, or what can I help you out with today?
Well, I guess I am wondering if you have any advice for me as related to career. When you've been talking about pain and feeling stuck, gone through a lot over the last 4.5 years or so, and my life's kind of been turned upside down from where, I kind of look at my old 4 years ago, I refer to that as like my old life. But I didn't want the turn, but of course I know things change and turn because they're supposed to. But I'm experiencing difficulty in, like, I feel stuck, like I'm not sure which direction to go. If I'm not in that career path, I don't know where to go, and I don't know. I'm just wondering if you have any guidance or advice for me.
Yeah. So, how old are you?
44.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's a very normal, it's almost like the classic age in this early to mid 40s for men and women to experience this time of upheaval. So trust that this is like, it's almost like when you're 16, you get your driver's license, and when you're 44, everything falls apart. It's just, in those years, those time frames. So trust that you're on the right path. So what I'm seeing, Kim, is that what did you do for your previous field? What did you do?
I was in higher education. I didn't teach, but I was on the administrative side of stuff.
Okay. So what I'm seeing is that your ability to communicate and talk and negotiate, which is kind of almost like mediation or mediate or discuss or to bring both sides to the table, is like this really, really strong gift. And I would agree that what you were doing is not what you're meant to do at all. It's feeling much more like private sector, like people that work on keeping teams organized, so that you keep your team supported, or people that work on negotiating between sides that are not in conflict, but I think that idea of keeping a team in alignment with each other so that they can do a good job. So it feels like private sector more. Sorry, I'm just kind of getting this, almost like the idea of communicating between different sides, almost like sometimes like project manager that's doing a bunch of difficult projects, they'll have to like be a really good mediator or negotiator. It's that kind of thing. So those are really simple, easy skills for you. Like you've almost got the magic touch in being able to bring two sides together that don't really agree, but with you in the middle, they will. So and it's private sector. It's not a big organization like as an educational place, private company. So with that, what I think would be really interesting, since you don't know exactly, is just let the universe choose for you. You know, those kinds of times in your life when you're just kind of dropped into like, how did that even happen? And let the universe kind of guide you and allow like a lot of surprise to happen. Okay. Yeah. Are you applying for jobs now?
I kind of gave up for a while. The last job I applied for, I did awful in the interview, so it just made me not want to.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think look for private companies, something to do where you're like the liaison between, client and manager, something like that. something like projects where you got to communicate, and you're the glue in the middle. That's going to be a really good place for you. And I think it's okay to take July off. We don't always have to be about like just working. We're allowed to have time to just enjoy the summer, and if that's something that's available to you, I would just take the time off.
Okay.
Well,
I appreciate it. Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, you're welcome. You're going to do fine. Just don't be too worried. It's going to be fun for you. You're going to find your niche. It'll be good.
It makes me feel good. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good. Well, we're going to talk to Melanie really briefly because we're almost out of time. But Melanie, welcome. What's on your mind?
Well, in a nutshell, I've always really been kind of a loner. I've been alone most of my life, and I've always done everything on my own. And I've been working really, really hard for a lot of years, and I feel like I never belong anywhere, and I haven't found where I'm supposed to be and really kind of what I'm supposed to do. I'm in my third career, and I'm not satisfied right now, and I'm thinking about making another big move. I've made several big moves, and I'm a very creative person, and I don't have that outlet. I work 24/7 just to get by, and I have a lot of education, so I have to pay that off. And I feel like I'm constantly running in circles, and I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think that I'm going to call it like the first of all, I'm sorry that I know that you're struggling. And second, I want to give this idea to you that you have the misbelief that everything has to be hard. And it would be interesting to let go of that idea that you have to work hard, that you have to do it by yourself, that no one understands you. I think these are all beliefs that maybe you formed really early on. Maybe you had to kind of take care of yourself. You didn't get the right support. But this idea that everything... Yeah. It's like, so you're kind of operating on that survival instinct from the past. But what I'm getting for you now is like, you're not in that place anymore, and you can kind of like relax your defenses, and you can allow yourself to live a different way. Like, you can allow people to help you. You can allow yourself to connect. You don't have to work at the same level of work. So it's just like taking this deep breaths and relaxing and being like, I'm safe now. I really am. I'm not like when it was, like I was a teen or young. It's not like that anymore. You've turned that hurdle and just starting to relax into that new idea. And I think things will start to change. I don't think you need to move. I think everything you need is generally, like maybe you could move like a little bit, like to the neighboring neighborhood or something. But generally speaking, a big move isn't going to solve the issues. It's more about this idea of taking that deep breath and going, I do not need to be a workaholic. I just don't need to.
Yeah.
I can, I just don't.
And the workaholic and falls to the wall all the time. And
you don't need.
I'm not happy in my job, and I don't like the lifestyle in America anymore because I do have to work 24/7 just to get by, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I do have to take on those extra jobs just to get by, and I would have a easier lifestyle in Europe, and I would be valued more in my job. And I'd be able to actually have time off to be creative.
Yeah. So, Melanie, I don't think, and I have to, unfortunately, the show's ending, so I've got to let you go. But I don't think moving to Europe is the solution for you. Just begin to let go of the idea you have to do it by yourself. And as you process that idea, things will shift right where you are. Thank you. Thank you for calling. Everybody, you've been listening to Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman. Big show today on suffering and pain and why we can learn to transcend. Look forward to being with you next week on Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman.
Want more of Ask Sara with Sara Wiseman? Tune in weekly for more divine teachings on living a soul-led life. Want Sara's books, courses, and free gifts? Visit sarawiseman.com.